Hi, my name is Eric Scott, and this is a how-to video on how to use a pendulum and dowsing. Some of you have purchased my electronic booklet, Sharpen Your Intuition, and this will show you how to do what the book basically tells you how to do. So what what we want to do is, I teach spiritual response therapy, so what we want to do is teach you the same way that I teach my spiritual response therapy students how to use a pendulum. And basically those people have been cleared previously, which helps you get clearer answers, but that's something we'll talk about more later. But first of all, if you will, take a look at this pendulum, and this is just a basic little plastic pendulum. It's very cheaply made, but it's just as good as anything else. You could use a paper clip and a piece of string and it works just as well. There's no magic in the pendulum. There are some pendulums that are a little bit better to use than others, in my opinion. This one, which I have custom made, so to speak, is about 5.5 inches long overall. It's very light plastic, and so you get a response very quickly, as opposed to the heavier ones that are made out of metal or some big heavy crystal or something hanging on the end. It takes a while to get the pendulum moving so that you can get an answer. So at any rate, if you've read the book, you know that you're not supposed to have your elbow resting on the table as you use the pendulum, because when you're first starting out, it has a tendency to break up the flow of energy going through the arm. It comes down through the crown chakra and through the arm, twitching the appropriate muscles in the fingers and the hand, which will give you the response to the question that you've asked. So the first thing we do is sort of programming ourselves for the pendulum is intentionally make the pendulum move front and back, or north and south, just like this, nodding your head, saying, "This means yes. This means yes," and then stop the pendulum. Do not intentionally make it move, and say, "Show me a yes." And you'll notice very faintly there, it's moving front and back. And so if I say, "Show me a wider arc," it swings further, or more clearly defined, and it swings even further. So you can use those words to help get things going. Okay, so that's the yes. We've programmed the yes. Now we need to program a no. So intentionally move the pendulum right and left, or east and west. Shake your head no while you're saying out loud, "This means no. This means no." And then stop the pendulum so that it hangs, and do not intentionally make it move in any direction, and say, "Show me a no." And then you'll see right here, and it's beginning to move right and left, or east and west, on its own. Show me a wider arc, and it gets wider. More clearly defined, and it gets wider yet. Okay? Now that's basics about using the pendulum. One of the things that you need to know is that you can also ask questions other than yes/no questions. You can answer a 3-part multiple guess, or a 4-part multiple choice, or a 4-part multiple choice by merely numbering across the top of your paper. Say, response 1 is here in the top left corner, number 2 is here, and number 3 is over here. And hold your pendulum down the paper a bit and say, okay, which is the correct response? This one, or this one? And then we're going to show number 1. So whatever the first response was is the correct, or the closest to correct there is. One thing I need to mention that is nice to say, just a little prayer before you use the pendulum, and that'll ensure your connection. It'll ensure your connection with Spirit by saying, I use "God's will be done." Robert Detzler, who is Mr. SRT, says, "The Father and I are one. We work together as a team." Whatever works for you, makes you feel that spiritual connection, will help you get the answers that you're looking for. If by some chance you're not getting what you feel are accurate answers, or if you ask it by saying, "My name is so-and-so," and it tells you no, well, then obviously you need some clearing done to clear away whatever programs might be blocking your getting a correct answer. So you can contact me at eric@srtnow.com, which is my email address. That's eric@srtnow.com. Or you can visit my website, srtnow.com, and sign up for a free consultation, and we'll tell you what we can do in terms of clearing. At any rate, thank you very much, and I hope this is helpful.